Pair of socks. You guys going to cover the video of RFK Jr. ballot access consultant in New York? Should we do that? Have you seen this video?
No.
I missed the RFK stuff.
I mean, I'm not sure if this is even, if she's even accurate. I mean, are there that many states where it's not winner take all in terms of the electoral votes?
It's basically Nebraska and Maine.
Exactly. Nebraska and Maine, and that's not even proportion. Well, Maine does have one that is proportion, right? Or no, it's per congressional district. This is what's so strange about this. RFK is not necessarily getting the best of people. Let's play this clip. I couldn't quite follow this because my understanding is in Nebraska, Trump is really leaning heavily, and is really leaning heavily on. I'm not sure who it is in Nebraska, but the Omaha has one electoral vote or something around there, and there's a concern that Biden could actually pick up an electoral vote in Nebraska, which otherwise would not be. But that's because it's a specific geographic location. I think the same with Maine. I don't think there is a proportionate, maybe Maine has proportionate electoral votes. But this is RFK Jr. Okay, so using the congressional district method, these states allocate 2 electoral votes to the state popular vote winner and then 1 electoral vote to the popular vote winner in each congressional district. So none of it is proportional. Some of it is like divided up by region or location. And so this is apparently, I'm not sure when this video is from.
It says April 5th.
So it's right here. This is what's so bizarre about this. Listen to this. I mean, it's not terribly surprising that people working for Kennedy's campaign come from the right. I think he may draw definitely votes from Democrats, but it's not surprising to me that people working for him come from the right, because they either are attracted to the fact that, a lot of them, saw him on right-wing media when he launched his campaign in the Democratic primary. Again, not the best and brightest in terms of campaign managers. Or he's attracting people who, have some interesting ideas about health practices and have a lot of money, like his vice president. But listen to this woman. She is the Kennedy. This is the RFK Jr.'s New York director of a campaign.
So there's no Biden voters in the House, right? No. Okay, good. Things, I guess, will change over time because you do have to only pick one candidate at the end of the day. But the Kennedy voter and the Trump voter, the enemy, our mutual enemy is Biden. Since Biden is counting on us with Bobby in the mix, my thought is for the Republicans. See, Bobby right now, he's pulling from both sides. Right now, he's actually pulling a little bit more from Biden, which explains why the DNC is kind of ganging up on him. They have a special committee to go after independent candidates.
All right, pause it for 1 second. Pause it. I want to read this because I don't even think this is true, but it's fascinating. Election 2024. How do we benefit from RFK Jr. on the ballot? Best strategic opportunity to block Biden. Trump can't win New York. New York has not elected a Republican president in 40 years. New York is assumed Democrat.
Yeah.
Biden counts the 28 electoral votes in his favor automatically. 270 wins the presidency. That is, so far, all is true. If other blue states followed our example, Biden cannot win. It's not clear what the example is. New York can send a message of independence. Dems comprise just under half of New York voters. Republicans are 22%, and no affiliation are 23%. Bobby is a landing pad for disillusioned Democrats. So I think the idea is that they think they can get all Republicans to vote for RFK and then maybe some Democrats and win the state. Is that what the theory is? Let's that doesn't
Send a
sound like that.
message.
It's about as
I
well as
guess.
thought out as this stuff usually is.
independent candidates, like non-affiliated candidates, they really mean Bobby, because Bobby's the only third party that anybody's taking seriously. So they developed a committee just to go after him and to get him off of the ballot in any way they can. Especially, it seems as though they're going after the battleground states more than the deep blue states. Bobby's moving the blues on his own. If the Republicans accepted the fact that New York, Maryland, Chicago, Illinois, California, New Jersey, Connecticut, most of the Northeast is going to go blue, why wouldn't we put our vote to Bobby and at least get rid of Biden and get those 28 electoral votes in New York? The card's a little wrong. It says 26 electoral votes. Give those 28 electoral votes to Bobby rather than to Biden, thereby reducing Biden's 270. And we all know how that works, right? 270 wins the election. If you don't get to 270, if nobody gets to 270, then Congress picks the president. So who are they going to pick? Who are they going to pick if it's a Republican Congress? They'll pick Trump. So we're rid of Biden either way. Does everybody follow that? Yay. Okay.
So I guess she is Kennedy's director. It sounds like she is at a New York director. She is in front of a Republican audience.
Yeah.
The cross sort of gives it away a little bit.
Yeah, it was a group in the Hudson Valley, but there wasn't a lot of information on who exactly she was speaking to. And she was just hired as Bobby's state director in New York about 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have background on who she is?
Yeah, from preliminary reports, she apparently did support Trump in either 2016 or 2020.
Okay, so
and the Kennedy campaign is now trying to distance themselves a little bit from how fervent the remarks were.
Trump and RFK apparently share this big donor, this guy Tim Mellon, right? I would not be shocked if a lot of these folks that are doing speeches like this have also connections to this big donor.
They probably are getting paid, or if they're not volunteer, I mean, they're being supported by that money. I mean, that's
true. And like we saw early on when RFK Jr. was running in the Democratic primary, how excited Steve Bannon was, how he said that a Trump and RFK Jr. ticket could take down Biden, and how we saw RFK photographed with Michael Flynn really early on in his campaign. This has like Republican rat F or like messing around, dirty tactics all over it. And Kennedy is just too unscrupulous and too much of like high on his own farts, honestly, to turn down any kind of money. That's part of why he picked just a really rich lady to help fund his campaign as his VP.
I think the big thing was to get her to fund the getting on the ballots. Now, it would be fascinating to me if they spent all that money on getting on ballots in blue states, let's say. That would be, but she has a lot of money. I think she has endless amount of money. But it's interesting to hear the theory of the people that are working on the campaign.
Yeah.
How, I would love them to do that in swing states. That would be a great strategy in swing states. Get all the Republicans to vote for.
Totally.
If I'm a Republican, I'm going to vote for Trump. Sorry, lady.
You don't get it, Matt. But I guess the point is that like I think if I'm Bobby Kennedy, I would imagine there's a better opportunity for me to get stuff from Trump than there is from Biden at this point. I mean, certainly people remember like early days of the Trump administration before even the administration started, when he was still meeting people at Trump Tower. Bobby went there, I guess, to pitch stuff about vaccine, maybe. So, but that's a video they're going to wish didn't get out.
The Trump stuff is going to be tough because they really did not like his pick of that VP. The Trump people, there was a really strong negative reaction. I think Dave Weigel was maybe tweeting about it, or somebody else, but not happy with his VP selection. So
right.